Hello, students. Welcome to Unit 11, Lesson 6 of our distance learning. This is IXL, Section S7, Area and Circumference of Circles. So for this one, we're going to need two formulas. The first one is the area of a circle, which is pi times radius squared. And so we simplify it by saying the area of a circle is pi r squared. The other formula we need is the circumference. So circumference is equal to 2 pi r, or 2 pi radius. Okay, let's see, wait, what did I say? F-E-R-E-N-C-E. Okay, I did spell it right. You know what, that doesn't look P-R-E-N-C-E. There you go. Circumference equals 2 pi r, or 2 radiuses. Or we can also use the equation equals pi diameter, or pi d. Okay, let me move some of this. Whoops, let me move this over. Okay. All right, so there's two radiuses and one diameter, so we're able to just replace the two radiuses with the diameter if we want to. So the radius of a circle is 9 inches. What is the area? So we are going to do the area is pi r squared. So the area is pi times 9 inches squared. So 9 times 9 is 81. Inches times inches is inches squared. And what we want to make sure we do is we rearrange it. We're going to say it's 81 pi inches squared, because we always want to put the number first. Now it wants it in simplest form, which is in terms of pi. So this is going to be 81 pi square inches. All right. Whoops. All righty. So the next problem, the diameter of a circle is 10 meters. What is its area? So the important thing is that we don't use the diameter, is that we actually break the diameter into two radiuses. So instead of saying that d is 10, half of that is 5, and the other half of that is 5. So really we need to use, always for the area, we're going to have to use radius and not diameter. Okay, so the area is equal to pi r squared. So area equals pi times 5 meters squared. So 5 times 5 is 25, and meters times meters is meters squared. What we want to do is rearrange, so we'll put 25 pi meters squared. Okay, so we will leave this as 25 pi. All right, so next one. The radius of a circle is 6. Find the circumference. Okay, so circumference equals 2 pi r, or circumference equals pi times diameter. Now I'm going to use this equation because it already gave me my radius. So circumference equals 2 times pi times 6 meters. So circumference equals 6 times 2 is 12 pi meters. So I'm actually done. That's my circumference. It's double the radius times pi with the unit of measure meters. All right, let me just put this in a box up here. Okay, 12 pi meters. All right, that's it. Now this next one, I'm going to find the circumference again. But I have a choice of either finding the radius or not finding the radius. I can instead use this formula, because 2 radiuses equals 1 diameter. So here the diameter is 3 kilometers. So circumference equals pi times d, or diameter. So circumference equals pi times 3 kilometers. And I'm already done. 3 pi kilometers. So we're going to type in 3 pi kilometers. All right. Now, some of these we might have to work backwards. So for instance, what would the radius be if I already know my area? Okay, I need to write the area formula out. So area equals pi r squared. They already told me what my area is. Okay, the area was given. So I need to substitute area in where I see area in my equation. So I have 49 pi centimeters squared equals pi r squared. To go about solving for this one, give me 1 second. To solve this, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to divide both sides first by pi. Let's get rid of that. And you'll notice that pi goes away on both sides. So I get 49 centimeters squared equals r squared. And we need to solve for r, not r squared. So we're going to perform the square root operation. So the square root of 49 centimeters squared equals the square root of r squared. The square root of 49 is 7. The square root of centimeters squared, they go away, are centimeters. The square root of anything squared is just one of them, okay? And the square root of r squared is r, right? Because these things get knocked out, these things get knocked out, and so now you're done with, you're down to that. So the answer here is 7 centimeters. You can always, always, always check your work. So if we were to do 7 times 7, we would get 49. So if we put 7 back into the original equation, you will get 49, and then centimeters times centimeters is centimeters squared. So you have 49 centimeters squared times pi. Okay. This one, this one is tough. First, we have to do 2 steps. The first thing we need to do is start with the area, which is pi r squared, because that's what they gave me. They gave me pi r squared. 100 pi feet squared. My apologies. And so I need to use the area formula because they gave me 100 pi feet squared. And then once I get down to my radius, I then need to use the radius to solve for my circumference. So there are 2 things. You're going from the whole area, getting down to just a radius, and then using your radius to find your circumference. So think about area, down to a radius, and then to a circumference. So we are going to have 100 pi feet squared equals pi r squared. We are going to divide both sides by pi. That goes away. So I have 100 feet squared equals r squared. So now the square root of 100 feet squared equals the square root of r squared. So feet squared. So 10 feet equals r. The square root of r squared is r. The square root of feet squared is feet. And then the square root of 100 is 10. So we have 10 feet. The radius is 10 feet. But we are not done. We now need to do the circumference. Circumference equals 2 pi r. So we need to use this in our circumference. So circumference equals 2 pi times 10 feet. Yikes, that doesn't look right. So circumference equals 20 pi feet. And now we are done. We had to do a couple steps, but then we finally found the answer we're looking for. So 20 pi feet. And we are done with that problem. Okay. Let's see, the next one. Circumference of a circle is 10 pi inches. What is the diameter? So this one's a working backwards one with a circumference. So you're given the circumference. We're going to say that that is, So circumference equals 2 pi r. So 10 pi inches equals 2 pi times r. I just substituted in. Here's what's really cool. In this step, you can divide both sides by 2 pi to get r just by itself. So 2 goes away, pi goes away, pi goes away, and 10 divided by 2 is 5 inches. So the radius is 5 inches, and we want to solve for the diameter. Well, the only other step we have to do is multiply both sides by 2, because remember, 2 radiuses is 1 diameter. So it's really 2r, but 2r is 1 diameter. So we're going to double it, and we get 10 inches. That's it. Okay, let's see. I don't have too many left. I have 2 more. Now, these are word problems. Okay, looks like they're working backwards or forwards. It looks like the first one's working backwards and then working forward, and the same thing for the second one. So we have circumference equals 2 pi r. So they give me 5 pi as my circumference. And so I'm going to divide, it's 5 pi miles, but you know what? Let's just leave the unit of measure out. So in this case, I'm going to, so here's what I'm talking about. There's your 5 miles, 5 pi miles. So the circumference of a circle is 5 pi. So I substitute it in. Now I'm going to divide both sides by 2 pi. And so I get 5 over 2 equals r. And you can leave it like this, or you can write it as a decimal. So let me, you know what, let me write both. So wait. Simplest form. No. We do not want to write it as a decimal because it wants it, and this is important in simplest form. So a decimal is not going to work out for us. It needs to be in a fraction. Okay. So now the area is pi r squared. So area is going to be pi times 5 over 2 squared, because that's where my radius will fit in, okay? Now, 5 times 5 is 25. 2 times 2 is 4. So I'm going to get 25 over 4. And this will end up being miles squared, because it will be, when we reduce it, we'll get miles, and then we'll be squaring it to get miles squared. So now we want to write it in simplest form. A lot of the times what we do is we just put 25 pi. The pi is in the numerator, even though, think about it as over 1. So just write it with the numerator, 25 pi, always put it after miles squared. So 25 pi over 4 miles squared. Just keep it in that numerator, move it around, move it to the other side of 25, and you're good to go. So you're going to want to type in a fraction, 25 pi over 4 as your answer. Okay? All right, the area of a circle is 4 pi square feet. We want to know the diameter. So the area is pi r squared. We know that it's 4 pi feet squared. Because that's what they put. Yikes. Let's try this again. 4 pi feet squared equals pi r squared. Pi r squared. There we go. Where did I get 4 pi square feet? It came from right here. Okay. So I'm going to divide both sides by pi. And we get 4 feet squared equals r squared. And now, running out of room here. And now I'm going to find the square root of 4 feet squared and of r squared. So that goes away, that goes away. So the square root of feet squared is feet. The square root of 4 is 2. So the radius is equal to 2. It wants me to find the diameter. So what I need to do is say that the diameter is equal to, so diameter equals 2 radii, right? There's 2 of them. So in this case, diameter equals 2 times 2 feet. So the diameter equals 4 feet. And we are done. So 4 feet is my diameter. Okay. That's it for the lesson. So make sure that you go back and you are working on S7, which is area and circumference of circles. Okay, good luck.